What is going on, everyone? You guys seen the title of this video, you know what this is. So I have seen Superman 4 times. And 4 times in the theaters now I've seen this film. And I know some of you who follow the channel have probably been waiting, wondering where my Superman review is. Here it is. Like I always do. You guys know I'm slow with this stuff. I always wait. I've waited about a week and a few days to fully give out my review. I saw it opening night. I saw it the next day. Saw it the Tuesday after. And I just got back from my 4th and final showing a few hours ago. Another reason I kind of haven't done a review yet is because, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be able to do this review in the sort of way I always do my reviews. And that is because, I really don't have any complaints about this movie. It's a masterpiece. It's a perfect movie, and it's a masterpiece. I'm sorry. I know for those Snyder bums out there who hated this movie, suck it, because it's great, and it's so much better than that Man of Steel shit we got 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was. Awful movie. This absolutely craps on it. This was a perfect film. This is how you do Superman. This is the best Superman movie of all time. This is a top 10 comic book movie of all time. This movie is a masterpiece. Beautiful from start to finish. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to explain and break down every aspect of this movie that I loved and enjoyed. So let's do it. Alright, so I want to begin with the characters in this movie and the actors portraying these characters. From start to finish. We'll start with Clark/Superman. David Cornsweet is the best live-action Superman we have ever had. I love Christopher Reeve. He is the man. His Clark Kent, he still has the best Clark Kent. David Cornsweet is second to his in terms of the Clark Kent character. Because I look at them as 2 different characters. But when it comes to Superman, David Cornsweet is Superman. He is the best live-action Superman we have ever gotten. He just nails every aspect of this character. He nails the charm. He nails the confidence. He nails the naivety. He nails the caring and loving and compassionate side of the character. He nails every bit of it. And he looks great. He sounds like Superman. Everything about him is Superman. He nails it. And even when it comes to Clark Kent, my only issue is that I wish he was a little more nerdy, dorky kind of guy. When he and this is the problem I have with almost every live-action Superman since Reeve, is that when they kind of put on the glasses, they're still acting like Superman, just not calling themselves Superman. They're still acting the same way he does as Superman, just call himself Clark. So he was kind of lacking the little goofy, nerdy side, but he still put up the persona and still felt at least different enough. When he's walking towards the Daily Planet, he's bumping into everybody. He's kind of bumbling around, and that's what Clark does. So David Cornsweet, you were my Superman. You perfected this. Rachel Brosnahan, the best live-action Lois Lane. Again, back to the Christopher Reeve movies. The actress who portrayed Lois Lane in the original Christopher Reeves films, Margot Kidder, was the blueprint. And Rachel Brosnahan, in my opinion, surpassed Margot Kidder. And I love Margot Kidder. She was great. But what's great about Rachel Brosnahan is she feels like Margot Kidder. She really does. She has that Margot Kidder feel to her. And there's a lot of scenes in this movie where it's almost like you're watching Margot Kidder. But she does her own little thing with it, and she just makes it that much better. We get to spend more time with her, it feels like. We get her fleshed out a bit more. We get to figure out more what she's about. And, we get to see a closer look inside of her life, I feel. And Rachel Brosnahan just nails the performance. She's strong. She's caring. She's untrusting of anybody. She's tough. She's funny. I mean, she nails it. Again, just like David, they nail every aspect of the character. Nicholas Hoult as Lex. Also, the best live-action Lex Luthor we've ever had. Again, I love Gene Hackman. He's fantastic. He's hilarious, but that is not really Lex Luthor. That's the kind of real estate mogul version. This is Lex Luthor. He's intelligent, he's angry, he's jealous, he's full of himself. He's just everything you want Lex to be, he is. And Nicholas Hoult puts up such a great performance. He really knows how to show emotion, and he really knows how to get under your skin. He is such a little prick in this movie. And he nails it, and he's just perfect for Lex. And the good thing is, one of my big concerns going into this movie about Lex was that he was going to be really weaselly, and to be honest, he's kind of not. He kind of is at the end when he gets exposed for how much of a pussy he is, but throughout the movie, he's not really that weaselly. He has moments where he acts pretty tough. So fantastic there. Jimmy Olsen, I loved him in this. Again, I'd say it's the best live-action Jimmy Olsen. It's the most time we've ever spent with Jimmy Olsen, and the way they worked him into this movie was fantastic. Ma and Pa Kent, both amazing as well in this movie. So wholesome, and I know a lot of people, like, especially in my theaters, were kind of laughing at the way Ma talked. And I'm not gonna lie, it really warms my heart, actually. There was a couple scenes in there where actually Pa and Ma Kent made me tear up because it's just so wholesome in the way they speak, and they just feel like they just have this motherly father feel to them. You just feel so warm, and whenever they're on screen, it's like you're getting a big hug, and it's so touching how just wholesome they are, and so much more wholesome than Cavill's parents and even the Reeves parents. This was my favorite Ma and Pa Kent. I'm not gonna say that they're the best live action versions because I do really love Cavill's versions. But they just weren't very wholesome. The father had kind of a tough feel to him. But still, fantastic. The engineer, I thought she was a fun, cool, awesome villain in this film. And I think she did her purpose. You know, she wasn't supposed to be an extremely fleshed out character. We got a little bit of her backstory. We knew that she used to be a human and that she gave up her free will, as she says, to become this assassin for Lex, and her blood was infused with nanites, he said. Very cool villain. Ultraman, who we all know is a clone of Superman in this film, fantastic as well. He was intimidating, he was scary, especially, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this. When he was the Hammer of Baravia at the beginning, I still think the Hammer of Baravia was the most intimidating villain in this movie. Obviously, we found out it's Ultraman, but the voice is very intimidating. The look, I thought, was very intimidating. I would not have been angry or upset if he had kept this Hammer of Baravia look up until the end of the movie, and then he reveals himself as Ultraman underneath. They have that end fight, then you find out it's a clone of Superman. That would have been really cool, because I do think, like I said, he was very intimidating as the Hammer of Baravia. Then you have like side characters like Miss Tessmacher, who was hysterical in this movie. Her back and forth with Jimmy Olsen, and you know how he can't stand her, but she loves him. It's hysterical, so funny. The rest of the Daily Planet cast were done to perfection, and they were in it all they needed to be. They had some comedic scenes and stuff. Very good. The Justice Gang, Mr. Terrific, so great in this movie. This movie has made me fall in love with that character. I've been watching so many more of the animated stuff, trying to understand and find out more about this character. Loved Mr. Terrific, man. He had some of the best scenes in the movie. He had some great lines, like, "I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific." It's great. Guy Gardner as well, hysterical, so funny. Nathan Fillion crushes the role. He's hilarious, he's edgy, he's kind of an asshole, but he's also nice. He's kind of arrogant as well. He's a good guy, but he's like an asshole type of good guy, you know? He has some great lines like, "Oh, Superman's not here, kid, but you got the upgrade." Like, so great lines like that. Fantastic. And Hawkgirl, I know a lot of people were not too big on Hawkgirl, and I disagree. I mean, I love Isabella Merced. I loved her in Last of Us, you know. I think she's great in this. I loved her in Alien Romulus. I think she's a fantastic actress, and I think she did good in this. I think she did really good. I mean, it wasn't really... She wasn't supposed to have too big of a role, and she doesn't. She has lines and stuff. She talks, and we see her in battle, and it's just how Hawkgirl's supposed to be, you know? She's kind of this teen girl. It seems like she's in college. We see her in her dorm room, I think, at the end. And she kicks ass, and she's great, and she did exactly what the assignment was, and she was perfect for the film. Then you got Metamorpho, was also a very, very, like, touching character, you know? I really felt bad for him so many times in this movie. And, like, when he got happy, I got happy, because he just has this energy to him where he looks intimidating, and then when you actually talk to him, he's just this nice, kind of calm and a good-hearted human, and you can tell underneath that's what he is. He's just this kind-hearted soul, and he got really fucked over in this movie by Lex, obviously, but he's just fantastic. I forget the actor's name, but he's great. He was in Gotham as Zaz, and he did a fantastic job in that. So just a great character all around, man. The characters in this movie were definitely one of the best standouts of this film. They all worked. They were all great. There wasn't a single one of them, a single character where I was like, eh. Like even like the Superman robots in this movie, had some personality to them. They were able to even make me laugh. Just every character, and James Gunn's so good at this, just making these characters so larger than life, and fantastic character work in this. Seriously. Next up, I want to get into the writing and storytelling. I think the writing was really good in this movie, and I think the plot that they came up with is actually very interesting. This plot where of Superman is kind of under the jurisdiction of America, and he doesn't really see it that way, though. He just cares about saving lives, and he intervenes in a war between Jar-Empor and Baravia. Baravia is trying to, obviously invade Jar-Empor, and Superman steps in the middle of it and stops it. Which leads to this whole thing. But we find out that Lex is pulling all the strings. He's orchestrating this war with Jar-Empor. And he created the Hammer of Baravia and had Ultraman dress up as him. And he's trying to convince the government to take down Superman because he hates Superman that much. He orchestrated an entire war knowing that Superman would intervene to get the government to turn on Superman. And the way it all comes together, and you just find out pieces of information at certain times, and it all just works. And you really just, again, find out that Lex is running the whole show. And you just know he just hates Superman that much, and he's trying to take him down, man. And he gets the entire world to turn on him, man. And it works. And it makes for a... I don't want to say basic story, but it's a pretty straightforward story that it's very easy to follow. It's nothing too confusing or anything, and it works. It works perfectly for this movie. I thought it was great. Since we're talking about writing, I'll talk about the dialogue as well. The dialogue in this movie I thought was fantastic. My father, who saw this movie with me, he's more old school, obviously. He said he didn't care for the dialogue too much, but I thought the dialogue was really good. There wasn't anything too corny in there. I feel like the corniest line that was said was at the end when Superman's fighting Ultraman. He says, "Sorry, chum," but that's stuff that Superman says. Superman says I got to get back to the fray, and chum, and golly. He says all these weird things because that's how Superman is. That's just him. And it's just sure a lot of those words don't really work anymore. It's 2025, but. That's just Superman, and that is another big point of this movie. It's what if Superman was in the modern day era, and he works. He fits right in, man, and James Gunn does a great job at that. But there's some great lines of dialogue, and it gets serious when it needs to. Just conversations between Lois and Clark, or Lois and Superman, are fantastic. That whole scene where they're having that conversation in the in her apartment. And they're doing the interview was fantastic. It got, again, serious and happy when it needed to, and then it got funny at times, like when she says hashtag super shit, and he's like, that one specifically irritates me. It's the writing is it's just great. It's great writing. The dialogue works in every scene. It just works. And it's definitely helped by the actors and actresses with how much chemistry they all have, and there's even some more serious lines, like even curse words. I was shocked to see, I think Lex calls Superman an alien piece of shit at the end. He calls someone a bitch. There's some curse words in there. There's some mature dialogue, and which is strange because just looking at the movie, it's very child friendly, you would think. But there's some dark stuff in here, man. And yeah, there's, like I said, really dark scenes, like Lex playing Russian roulette with this innocent man, and he kills him. That was a really dark scene, and I was not expecting to see that in this film. But yeah, writing, absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10, man. Absolutely great. Next, we are going to talk about the soundtrack. My God, this is one of the best comic book movie soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. They took the original Richard Donner score and just did their own thing with it and transformed it into their own score for this film. And I'm sorry, I like this score better than the original film. I really do. The score in this movie, there's just so many soundtracks. At the beginning, When the movie first starts, man, you know, it starts off with the classic Richard Donner, and then it moves into this new kind of very like somber version of the theme song, of the Superman theme song, right at the beginning, and then you see the text pop up on screen or whatever. Fantastic. The scenes between Superman and Lois. I think one of the songs is literally called Superman and Lois at the end when they're or like sorry, towards the middle when they're hugging in front of the window and the whole like alien invasion things going on outside and the squads fighting it. It's great soundtrack there. And then obviously the main theme that with like the guitar version of the Superman song that happens when the kid starts tying the flag and he holds it up into the sky. So good, man. And then we get some great hip hop songs like Punk Rocker at the end. That's a great song. It's all over TikTok right now. The Mr. Terrific fight scene song, very catchy. Like again, all over TikTok. Great, dude. Phenomenal soundtrack. One of my favorite comic book movie soundtracks, hands down. Fantastic. Great. Next, I want to talk about the action sequences in this movie. This movie's action is bonkers nuts, and it's all so fun, so colorful, so vibrant, and it all works, man. I think the standout fight scene, in my opinion, could be the Mr. Terrific fight scene, like I just mentioned a second ago. That Mr. Terrific fight scene, it's not like anything crazy choreographed, but it's like this whole sequence where the camera's kind of spinning and you're following Mr. Terrific as he's just beating the shit out of all these raptors, and then it'll switch to Lois's perspective and she's just like watching it all unfold, and she's in this dome and the music's playing in the background, that great hip-hop song, and you're just watching Mr. Terrific just obliterate these guys with his T-spheres. He's throwing them into him, he grabs one and he flies over the sphere. It's such a cool sequence, and it made for such a great fight scene. It just worked. The fight scene at the end between Superman, Engineer, and Ultraman, from like as soon as they get into that stadium all the way, I guess, until the end, when he finally beats Ultraman, that whole fight scene is awesome. He starts taking the Engineer, he's whipping her across the stadium. By the way, stadium, a great place to have a big fight scene. It just looks awesome. And he's throwing her around, and an Ultraman fucking just stomps on Superman. She shoots him with this big-ass gun. And they kind of, obviously it probably wasn't what they were going for, but it kind of paid homage to the first Iron Man in a way, when she envelops him with the nanotech, and they're flying up into the sky, and that's his plan, is to freeze the nanotech. And then that's how he'll quote-unquote defeat the villain, for at least for the time being. And that's what happened in the first Iron Man. Or if you remember, Iron Man makes Ironmonger follow him up to space because he knew the suit would freeze. So I thought that was a kind of a cool parallel, even if it wasn't intentional. But yeah, I mean, just even like the one-on-one fight between Ultraman and Superman. I mean, he fucking snaps his hand. He fucking like pops out Superman's shoulder. There's just blow to blow. He's using heat vision, and it's just like he's kicking his ass. And then Superman's fight with the Raptors, he's just fucking pile drives through those Raptors, man. He just crushes them all. It's such a cool fight scene, dude. The whole ending fight was fantastic. The kaiju fight was awesome too, man. It's just great. It's an awesome fight. Even the fucking beginning fight with the Hammer of Bravia in Superman, even though Superman gets his ass kicked, it's still just an awesome fight scene and a great way to drop us into the film, you know what I'm saying? So fight scenes, again, in this movie, fantastic. 10 out of 10. And for the last thing I want to talk about with this movie is the visual effects and the kind of, I guess, the production value, the even just the way the movie looks, the tone, the the colors, and everything. Like the suits, I want to, like, everything that has to do with visuals, right? Going into this movie, I was really worried about the CGI. I thought it was going to look really, really rough, because it kind of did in the trailers. And I won't lie, there are one or two scenes in this movie where the CGI is like, looks a little off. And I think the scene where it's most apparent is when he flies up and punches the dude in the face, and his teeth fly and hit the camera. There's just something about the guy's face that just didn't look real. But it flies by like that. You barely, like, you're focusing on the teeth, you know. You're not really focusing on the guy's head. So it's really no big deal. But aside from that, man, this movie looks great. I mean, the CGI is incredible. The kaiju looked so fucking real. The destruction of the city at the end looked extremely real. I mean, it's awesome how this big gaping hole is coming up in the city, and all these buildings are collapsing. It's just great, like, set pieces. Like, you can tell some of it's sets and practical, and others it's just actual, just CG, and it looks great. Even like a lot of the flying scenes in this movie. I mean, even in the beginning, the first scene we see of him flying, where he does the spin around the iceberg, and it follows him, and then it zooms in on his chest, and that's the logo. That whole flight scene looked great. Him flying at the end, where he's heading up to Luthor Corp to shut down the machine so the thing will stop. And Mr. Terrific is being carried by Crypto. That looked great as well, that flight scene. So the flight scenes in this great movie looked really, really good. And yeah, like, I thought the CGI, they did a great job. I really did. That the nanotech looked very real in this. Like I said, all the destruction, the Fortress of Solitude, it looked a little cartoonish, not so much in the CGI, but just kind of the design of it, which is fine. I mean, this is literally like a live-action version of the cartoon from back in the day. So that was all great. Like, CGI looked fantastic, and the suits, I know everybody like really did not like the suits in this movie, especially the main Superman suit. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a hot take, but this is my favorite live-action Superman suit. I think it's perfect. I think it's beautiful, a gorgeous suit. I love everything about it, man. I love the collar. I'm not a big fan of the Superman collars that come down to like here, and it's kind of like that. I'm not a fan of that. Cavill had that. I didn't like it. I like the New 52 change where he's got this collar that comes up to his neck. I think it looks good. I also love the Superman logo. It looks less like an S and kind of more like a Z. But it looks like the Superman logo, everybody goes, oh, it's an S for Superman. It's not actually an S. Like, even on Krypton, it's not an S. Like, it literally just means hope. That's just what that symbol stands for. It's not an S that stands for hope. It just stands for hope. And so this looks less like an S and just looks more like a classic logo. It's neater. It just looks more clean. I love it. And I love the line work that goes throughout the suit. I know it's another thing that everybody hated. Why are you going to put so many unnecessary lines on it? It looks cool, man. It just looks nice. And it looks like some extra padding there. People then like, oh, look how thick the suit is, and it's not skin tight. To be honest with you, I don't like the skin. I don't want it to be skin tight. I like the way this looks. Everybody's like, Cavill's was skin tight. You understand? Cavill was wearing a muscle suit under his. I don't think no, I know for a fact David Cornsweet was not wearing a muscle suit. That's just him. And so, and when you're a real human being, a fucking suit is not gonna, like, no matter what, even like if you're wearing spandex, it's not gonna perfectly mesh over your skin. It just doesn't work that way. And then, to be honest, I don't want it to be like that. I don't have to see every little bit of muscle definition. I don't have to. This suit was perfect. The colors were great. I loved that the trunks were back, and they didn't look like a Speedo underwear thing. It actually looked like trunks. The cape looked great. It has a yellow emblem on it again. The boots, everything. He just looked perfect. This is my favorite live-action Superman suit by far. I think the Justice Gang, all their suits looked fantastic, especially Mr. Terrific's. I kind of wish, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they all have, in the middle, they have a diamond, and it says JJ. It looks that way, at least. I guess you could interpret it as a JL. I kind of wish the Green Lantern suit just would have had the Green Lantern logo here in the middle instead of the JJ logo. But that was fine. And Hawkgirl suit, she looked fantastic. Thought it was great. The Hammer Bravia suit, I don't know if that was CGI or practical. It was probably a mix of both. Looked fantastic. So in regards to like all the costumes and stuff, I thought they were all beautiful, gorgeous. The coloring and lighting in this movie is gorgeous. This movie has such a unique look to it. It's so bright and vibrant, but not in an ugly way, like in a way that works. It suits the movie as this bright, uplifting film. And yeah, man, it just this movie for me was perfect, and it has easily become one of my favorite comic book movies ever made. And like I said, after seeing it 4 times now, I mean, I really genuinely don't have any complaints. I love this movie. I think it is a masterpiece. I hope it will make $1 billion at the box office. It definitely deserves it. And the cast deserve a big-ass payday for this, because they really put their blood, sweat, and tears into this, and it shows, man, and it paid off. This is a fantastic movie. Phenomenal. And it is my movie of the year. And I think it'll be most people's movie of the year. And for all you, again, you Snyder Glazers out there who just want to hate on this and tear it down, because there's a lot of you, move on. Like, just move on and just embrace, like, love the old, embrace the new, right? That's what I always say. Respect the old, embrace the new. Even though I'm not a big Man of Steel person, I don't like it. I just don't think it's a very good film. I think this was a big upgrade. And I think most people thought this was a big upgrade. I mean, the reviews say it for itself. I mean, this film's reviews are fantastic. So yeah, just move on, Snyder fans. And like, even Zack himself supported this movie. So did Cavill, you know? So I think their fans definitely should too. But yeah, that is my review of James Gunn's Superman. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a thumbs up, rate, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.